Hello everybody, my name is Tyler.
And my name is Ilya. Together we're kovray, a couple who loves board games.
Welcome to this week's episode of Check It Out, where we introduce various board games to you.
On this week's Check It Out, we have Bravo!
Check it out.
Check it out.
Bravo is a roll and write game designed by Inka and Marcus Brand. It's published by Stronghold Games and plays 1 to 6 players.
The goal for Bravo is to score the most points by coloring the most of the colors by the end of the game. Now let's give you a quick overview of how to play.
You'll begin by setting up. It's pretty straightforward. Everybody who's playing will get a score sheet and a pen, and the dice will go in the center of the board.
Now on each player's turn, you'll have 3 options. You'll roll your dice and choose to pass, choose to select one of the combinations, or select a special dice, which we'll talk about in a second. For the first 3 turns that you roll, everybody has the option to select any of the dice combinations. Now you choose a color and a number, and then get to color that in. You always start with the column H, and then all the other boxes that are colored in have to either be adjacent or in H. So you'll slowly grow to the left and right and fill in columns and rows as you go. Now you'll notice there's a black X or a question mark in some of these dice. These are wilds or jokers. So if you roll a number with a question mark, then you can select the 1 to 5, or if you roll the black X, you can select any of the colors to color in.
Be careful though, because you have a limited number of wilds that you can pick during a round.
And the ones that you leave uncovered will score you bonus points at the end. So you'll take turns filling in various squares and activating the special dice, which gives you various abilities, such as filling in a 2x2 grid through an explosion, circling hearts, which are beneficial for completing columns, and we'll talk about that in a second. Filling in question marks, or just filling in a whole color. So there's a lot. The special dice really gives you that advantage, but make sure you have them to use. You'll start off with 1 circled here, and you'll be able to acquire them by filling in certain boxes with the special dice. These are also worth points at the end of the game, so use them sparingly.
After the 3 turns of being able to choose from all the dice, the active player will roll the dice, select 2, and remove them from the pool of the dice. That way, the other players will only be able to select from what's remaining. You'll score points through completing rows and columns. You'll notice here that if you fill out all of the squares in the column, you'll get this many points, depending on when you finish that column. If you're the first person to do this, you'll get the top number, and if you finish it afterwards, you'll get the bottom number. Additionally, if you have hearts, you'll score more points based on how many hearts you got, and you'll just write it down in the heart.
So you may want to be careful when you fill in your columns, because if you're able to build up your hearts and then finish the columns later, you'll get more points at the end of the game.
Exactly. Strategy! Now, the interesting thing is rows work in a very similar way. Once you've completed them, you'll get these points. Additionally, if you're the first person to finish the row, you'll get an extra special something. And those special things are going to be hearts, special die, or a bomb.
Now, if you complete the row or column at the same time as somebody else, you'll share the benefit of completing it first. Now, the other way to score points is by filling in of all of the same color. And you'll see that on the little section here. And it works like the other columns as well. The first person to do it will get the leftmost number, and the second and onwards will get the right.
So now that brings us to the game end mechanic. Once a player has finished filling in 2 colors, the game comes to an end. And then you can count up all your points, and whoever has the most wins the game. Will you be the most colorful roller? So, what do you think?
I really enjoy this game. We've been on a roll and write kick lately, so it's no surprise that we enjoy this game.
Yeah, this game is exactly what I thought it was going to be. You roll, you fill out things, and you hope you get the most points.
I think one of my favorite parts about this game is the cascading and the rolling effects that you can get when you fill in columns and rows. You'll really get to, as the game continues, you'll kind of grow all of your field, and it's so exciting to see it when you have that perfect roll to fill in exactly what you needed to fill in a few rows or columns.
Yeah, exactly. I think the tricky part here though is that when you do roll the dice and select that number and color, you have to be very careful because you have to fill in exactly that number. There's no more, no less.
And you have to be aware of what everybody else is doing too. Tyler may really need a 5, but I don't really need it that bad. But maybe I need to take it away from him so he doesn't get it.
Yeah, there are elements of take that. So it's a joyful roll and write.
So why should you check it out?
Well, I think we kind of covered it. If you're really into roll and writes, I think this game is perfect for you. If you really like the concept of basically playing Tetris as a roll and write, this could be your game.
Yeah, I really like that its focus is really on the colors. It's a really friendly roll and write. It's a roll and write that I can see people introducing people to roll and writes with as well.
Yeah, there's strangely a lot of depth to the game because there's a lot that you can do with the dice, and then there's a lot of cascading combinations you can make work. So it's a lot of fun to play.
Absolutely.
So why shouldn't you check it out?
There's a lot of thinking ahead. If you're a person who loves to live in the moment, then maybe this game isn't really for you. In order to do really well in this game, you really have to plan out which rows, which columns you're going to go for. You have to pay attention to what everybody else is doing. So you're really thinking and adapting on your feet throughout the whole game.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing is, obviously, it's a dice game, so if you're not really in for the rolling of dice and random chance, then this game might not be for you.
So overall, we really enjoyed this game. The variable pathways to victory, the fact that you can focus on different areas and maybe go the hard strategy or maybe go in the bomb strategy. You can really do anything then.
Yeah, and then there's the combinations that can happen that are really fun. You've got to use like your special dice appropriately or score them for extra points, who knows. And then also, the one thing we did forget to mention is if you don't fill in those stars on the board, you lose points. So you have to be able to fill all of them in, or oh no.
And if Tyler's not feeling the game, I can play solo, and the solo mode's actually pretty fun as well. For a question of the day is, what is your favorite roll and write? We've been on a roll and write kick lately, so we'd love to learn more about these wonderful games from you.
Awesome. Well, that's it for Bravo. Thank you so much for watching. If you really enjoyed what you saw here today,
you should say bravo in the comments below.
Woo woo! That's true. But no, if you enjoyed what you saw here today, go ahead, hit that thumbs up button, maybe even hit that subscribe button if you're interested, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. This is us checking out. Bye!
Bravo!
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 Bravo! Bravo!